Test 1, 2. Good evening, and welcome to the regularly scheduled board meeting of the Bonsall Unified School District Board of Trustees. Happy back to school, the busy first week. We'll start out with a roll call.
Eric Katega here.
Pascal Lapoirier here.
Roger Murchat here.
And Larissa Anderson here. We're all accounted for, so we fully have our entire board. If we could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Prior to convening here in open session, the board met in closed session where we considered the appointment, employment, evaluation of performance, discipline, transfer, or dismissal of employees, discussed our position regarding collective bargaining with the Bonsall Teachers Association and the California School Employees Association in order to direct the superintendent as chief negotiator in the matter of BTA and CSEA contracts, public employee performance evaluation regarding the superintendent, conference with legal counsel regarding potential litigation and student expulsion, and conference with real property negotiators regarding the property location on the east side of Horse Creek Ranch Road, as well as Ocean Breeze Ranch on West Lilac Road. And with that, is there a motion to approve the current agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
How are we accounting for Mr. Gaddis's votes? Thank you. And that brings us to the approval of the minutes for the special board meeting of June 26, 2025. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Michael as well? Motion carries unanimously, bringing us to our reports. We had all of our management reports online for review because there is back to school just yesterday. Our site administrators are not required to present in person because we haven't quite had enough school time for that. Do we have any PTA or any other parent organizations here to report today? Okay. How about labor? Bonsall Teachers Association, Ms. Soriano.
Testing, yes. Good evening, esteemed trustees, Superintendent Dr. Gawley, Ms. McInerney. First, I want to say congratulations to the Padres for being in first place. And to follow that up with even more. We had a great beginning to the school year. The teachers really felt a really good vibe at all the campuses, and it was a really smooth opening. What I'd like to speak tonight about is some concerns that my educators have about, and it's not, I want to make this clear. I don't believe that it's any fault of anyone here, okay? I just want to predicate that. But going forward, there's a lot of miscommunication circulating on social media and in the community about our proposed future of the district and how we're going to be moving forward, and shifts of the campuses and potential boundary lines and things like that. And I just want to stress that it's very important to the teachers that we fight misinformation and keep steady with the correct communication and clear communication. I know that the district has had many, many meetings, and we will have more and more meetings, and really values the input of the educators, and we really appreciate that. But at the same time, realize that we are the front line of communication with the families, and we're hearing a lot of stuff that's coming out that are based on false information or half-truths or things like that. We'd really appreciate your support in being proactive and stamping this out, because it doesn't benefit our schools, our community, or our atmosphere here in Bonsall. Thank you so much. The teachers really would like to hear from you guys how we're going to pay for things, what a timeline would be, and reassurances that like they will be brought in to make the key decisions, because we really do know what's best for our students in facilities. So, and I trust that this board and our superintendent will absolutely comply with that. So thank you very much. Have a
Thank
great
you.
school year.
Is there anyone here representing CSBA? Okay. That brings us then to our superintendent report. And I encourage anyone who's interested, there's always fantastic reports under the management section on the online agenda to really dive deep and take a look at those. I always appreciate all the information presented in there.
Good evening, Board of Trustees and Ms. McInerney. It is my absolute pleasure to be here tonight, the second day of the 25-26 school year. And I've got quite a bit to share. As President Anderson said, please read through those management reports. Our sites did a fantastic job of welcoming all of their families back with a lot of information, so please take a look at all of that. I'm going to take you through, let's see if this will work, and share a little bit about what we've been up to, and welcome everyone again to the 25-26 school year. Plato said the beginning is the most important part of the work. So what I want to share with you is what did we do, what have we done to make sure that the beginning of the school year is an awesome start for our students. And I want to point out this Bonsall bear that Ms. Pato pointed out to me when I was there yesterday. This is on day one, and you might not be able to see it, but his shirt says, "I'm ready for school, but is school ready for me?" Yeah, so what I want to tell this Bonsall bear is everything that we did to make sure that school is ready for him. So I'm going to start with a little bit of some highlights about what was happening over the summer. Because as many of you know, it does not happen magically that you walk into a classroom and you're able to teach day one. There is so much that has to happen to prepare our district and our sites for the startup of school. This is a barbecue we had with our summer crew. This is our custodial and our maintenance and our transportation and our business services and our site staff. Tons of people that were here over the summer working really, really hard. And our purchasing director puts together an awesome barbecue for them. Wanted to honor the work that they did. It was a lot of work. And summer projects, we're sitting here in this awesome community center. There's a picture up on the right where I was panicking a little bit just a couple weeks ago because that's what it looked like. And I have to credit our business services, Mrs. Castro, and again, Alexis Chapman, our purchasing director, and all of our custodial and maintenance who made sure that they were really diligent with the contractors to get it done. This room has been freshly painted, looks absolutely beautiful. The carpet, it smells fresh. And it is so much nicer, so we're really appreciating that. And on the left, this was a really big summer project, and we were worried that it wasn't going to be completed in time, but nevertheless, our amazing business services was really, really working hard. This is something that Bonsall Elementary PTA has raised money for a long time, so in collaboration with the district, we finally got a shade structure over that play structure there. And kids, day one, that's them playing on it. They were so excited. They walked in, they were just like, what? Oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I really appreciate that work. I also want to highlight that the learning did not stop over the summer. We had a lot of enrichment. You can see all of the offerings that we had there. We had our partnership with Boys and Girls Club. For our intercessional days, we had nearly 1/3 of BUSD students participating in at least one offering in June. Given opportunities to explore passions, try something new. So kudos to Mr. Norton, our TOSA for ELOP, who was coordinating a lot of that, and our staff, tons of staff that came and taught their readiness programs for the new school year and sports camps. Thank you, Ms. Bruninger, for helping to coordinate all of that with our coaches. So we had a lot of learning happening over the summer. And there's a note there from Mr. Norton. He wanted us to make sure that everyone knows that fall enrichment launches late September. Registration will be via 6 Cricket, so that's important. I also wanted to highlight that we have a lot of new staff members. This is just our new certificated staff, not even classified staff. And this was an awesome certificated staff orientation that Mr. Williams put together for 26 new certificated staff members. It was really a wonderful day. I am very excited about this new group of people coming in. They were energetic, they were excited, they were skilled, they're ready to hit the ground running. And I want to thank Jen Leung from Bonsall Education Foundation. She did a tour with all of our new staff of the old schoolhouse. So this is inside the Bonsall schoolhouse over here. She gave a little history of the schoolhouse. She shared some pictures. And my favorite was seeing some of the new teachers, it's their first year, and they wanted to get a picture in front of the chalkboard and in front of the desk there in the old schoolhouse. It was really cool. And Jen Leung talked about the fact that we were established in 1895. And that they are joining a very prestigious group and wonderful heritage and tradition of education here in Bonsall. So it was great. All of our sites did a fantastic job with registrations and orientations. It's a lot of work to get the students here, signed up, have all their classes. Up in the upper right-hand corner, you see our TKK Roundup. This is a wonderful thing that our teachers have been doing at our elementary sites to get to know the students and their families before they come day one. It helps them with balancing classes. It helps them to assess the students that they're going to be getting. And it really provides comfort for our families and our students, because then when they come on day one, they've already met their teachers and they feel like they know where they're going. So it's really a wonderful thing that we've been doing. So kudos to them. And I want to share that on Monday, which is shocking, I can't believe that was just a couple days ago. On Monday, August 11th, we had our Celebrate BUSD and Welcome Back. We talked about with the staff, we had 350 staff members in the Bonsall Elementary MPR. And we talked about kind of the state of the district. We talked about our theme for the year, which is a continuation of the theme of belong, believe, achieve. You know that we've leaned in on what does it mean to belong? How do we make sure our students know that they can believe in themselves and that we believe in them? Now we really need a sharper focus on achievement. We have room to grow. We have areas of need, and we need to lean in on how we can make sure that our students are achieving all of their potential. A highlight for me is, instead of having a keynote speaker, someone else come in who doesn't really know us, in the spirit of focusing on achievement, we invited an alumnus from BHS. She graduated class of 2024, Elena Walters, and we asked her if she could just come back and speak to our entire staff about what achievement looked like to her in Bonsall Unified. And it really was heartwarming. It was beautiful. I know I had a lot of tears in my eyes because she's been with us from TK all the way through 12th grade. She talked about, and this is just a quote from one of the things that she said, from elementary school plays to high school mock trial, from field trips to the college classroom, every step of my journey has been shaped by the most incredible and outstanding educators in this district. I am truly grateful for their support, their passion, and their belief in me and in every student who walks through their doors. She shared things she remembered, like the Big Buddy system. She shared things she remembered about, like actual field trips and experiences that she had, and got to reconnect with some of our staff. So it was a really wonderful celebration. After that, we also celebrated years of service. Upper left-hand corner, we're gonna need to have a big round of applause. Denise Barker celebrates 35 years with BUSD this year. Melissa Ledry, 25 years, and then I know, big round of applause. And there were many more that we celebrated for 15, for 10, for 5. It was wonderful to see the commitment that these educators have to our district. So that was wonderful, and that was certificated and classified years of service. I also wanted to share that's fun. Mr. Guzman, our teacher at Bonsall West, he likes to put together a welcome back for all of the students, and he got up on stage and said, I want to hear everybody shout at the same time, welcome back, and then we shouted, believe you can achieve, and it was a really nice moment. Just wanted to share that. After that, I want to thank all of the people that helped with a lunch that we provided for all of our staff. Upper left-hand corner, you see the masters of the grill, and also down on the right, John, Carlos, Leo, Robert. Of course, you see Leonore, who was super helpful in setting all this up, and Doug. And they barbecued, and Miss Gina and Angela and Alexis, and there were so many more. Amy, there were so many people that helped us put all this together. And in the middle, all of our administrators served the lunch. And it's just a wonderful food and fellowship, and it was just great. So we really appreciate that. It's a nice welcome back for the staff. And after that, by the way, we had professional development on our new math curriculum for elementary. We had professional development on AI and digital citizenship for secondary, and a lot of site staff planning going on. So then I wanted to share some first day vibes. This is a lot of, if you take a look around all those pictures, these are staff who ensure that our students know that as soon as they walk on our campuses, they are welcome. You see our campus supervisors, you see our administrators, you see our front office staff, you see our CNS workers, and I talked to Child Nutrition Services, told them how important their demeanor is for our students. You see our noon duties, and yes, thank you, Mr. Ortega. That's him high-fiving our new principal over at Vivian Banks, Tina Calabrese. So all of that is necessary for those first day vibes to really be powerful. I also want to call out the generosity and support that we see from so many people in our organization. Our PTAs are unbelievable. They are so fantastic. And you see just a few things that they're putting together. Down in the lower hand, that's a cart that a parent decorates at Bonsall West. He decorated as the Colts bus, and that was super fun for all of the kids to see. In the middle there, as I was walking around and I saw the classrooms outside, were all of the donations that families had brought of school supplies. This kid can't even lift that. He's carrying so many school supplies to his new teacher. And down on the right, beautiful, beautiful organization. That's Love on Your Back, making sure that our students have food and that their families know that they can come, and they do this distribution for any of our families in need. It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm appreciative for the generosity and support. And here's our students. Students coming in day one, all over the place. I went to every single site. It was beautiful to see their faces. And as Rilke says, and now let us welcome the new year full of things that have never been. All of these students entering into a new grade level, some of them a new school, and they are poised to succeed, poised to achieve, because we have fantastic people here who are helping them. So I wanted to share that. Very, very good. Now, I want to make sure that we're grounded, as always, in our framework for the future. And most of you, I hope, are getting to the point where you can recite this. But it is really important that we recognize that we have to be grounded in our vision and our mission. Our vision is that all students in Bonsall Unified engage in rigorous and relevant learning experiences that inspire them to be productive community members and future-ready lifelong learners. That is a tall order. The mission: we empower all students to thrive in a positive, safe, and supportive environment through high-quality education focused on the whole learner. Okay, so those are our guiding principles, if you will. I also want to remind you that we have 3 overarching goals in the district. The first one has to do with enabling conditions. What are we doing to set up the conditions so that students can be successful? Bonsall Unified will ensure resource stewardship provides for a safe, secure, and dynamic environment where all learners belong and thrive. That's one of our goals. We have a goal around engagement. We will foster a collaborative, trusting, and equitable culture among students, families, and all educational partners through intentional engagement that is creative and meaningful. And of course, we have one around learner outcomes. Bonsall Unified will create high-quality, customized learning and assessment methods that will result in increased academic success and future readiness for every student, okay? So those are guiding principles. Those are our goals in the district. What I want to share with you now is that we've spent some time with our leadership team, and we've been making sure that we can define what are the strategic focus areas and identified needs that we have in the district. I shared with you a lot of awesome things that are happening. That doesn't mean we don't have room to grow, and it doesn't mean that we don't have challenges in areas that we need to really hyper focus on. One of them I'm going to call out is addressing disproportionality in SPED. We're going to be talking a lot with our staff this year about the high numbers of students that are being identified and assessed for IEPs and 504s. We are not alone in that. This is something that we're seeing in quite a few places, but we need to look at our pre-referral processes, our MTSS implementation. We need to look at the standardizing, the change of placement process, providing guidance around least restrictive environment. And we need to provide additional training for staff on culturally responsive trauma-informed practices that are going to ensure eligibility decisions are objective and that are actually aligned with students' needs, particularly for some of our subgroups that have an over-identification, okay? So that's an area that I'm telling you right now you're going to hear about this year that we need to work through. We also have identified as a focus area delivering high-quality professional learning for continuous improvement. We met with leadership. We talked with leadership about what is your instructional leadership team saying needs to be a focus this year. These are a few of the larger strands that we will be ensuring are sequenced out throughout the year so that we can provide the training that is necessary for our students and our staff, okay? One example, behavior management strategies. At the end of last year, we had a team that attended a CPI, which is Crisis Prevention Intervention Training. It was a train the trainers training. Now we're building in through our professional development throughout the year, those train the trainers we have built their capacity to now train our staff. So that's something that we're intentionally building in. Digital citizenship and AI, writing instruction, et cetera. And of course, our new elementary math curriculum, okay? Another area is promoting high expectations and equitable achievement. I'm happy that we were able to get back to pre-pandemic levels in some of our scores, but it's not good enough to maintain. It's not good enough to, we can't be complacent. We need to look at how, now that we have gotten to a level that's great, how do we continue to grow? And that's a part of achievement we will be looking at. Increasing A through G, CTE pathway, increasing graduation rate. We made some strides last year. I think you saw in Dr. Pendleton's report that she attached that we saw some strides, which is great. In some areas we need to maintain because they're already at like 90% graduation rate. We can get to 100%, but that's actually really good that they saw those gains, but we've got work to do, okay? We also have a focus area of strengthening belonging, communication, and community engagement. Two large areas that we're going to be working with our leadership teams on: decreasing chronic absenteeism. We made some incredible gains in some areas. There is one school that had like a 1.5% chronic absenteeism rate. That is unheard of. That is so good. And then we had other areas where we're not consistent. We have to make sure that we're consistent. Increasing opportunities for family and community engagement. That's also incredibly important, as our communications TOSA/BTA president referenced, okay? And also one of the big ones, a huge focus area and identified need is how are we planning for modernizing and expanding facilities? You're going to hear again tonight from Caroline Brown, very, very grateful for the work that she's done to support us through a lot of this difficult planning. But we will continue to share updates. There's a lot that we are working with, okay? We have high numbers at BES and at SMS. SMS is seeing really big increases this year. We're looking at how we can, in the meantime, balance enrollment between BES and Bonsall West. We've already started to do that. We're starting to look at our IDTs, for example, to make sure that we can balance. We're looking at, through our planning, how can we address the aging facilities and portables, evaluating transportation challenges, determining funding, et cetera, increasing community engagement and communication, and seeking that involvement in facilities planning. So as I said, you will hear from Caroline tonight a little bit more on that. I do want to share with you something that I shared with our staff on Monday, because we have sent out, for example, a survey. I think we have maybe 70 responses so far on that survey, and that's wonderful. And we have an advisory committee. We had 35 to 40 people on that advisory committee. That's wonderful. We have people who are now telling me they want to be part of the focus groups. That's wonderful. I want to applaud the fact that we have people who are serving and who continue to serve, and I thank everyone who has contributed their time, insight, and their ideas. But what I told staff is this is not easy. If there were a simple solution, we would have found it already, right? We all recognize that. The decisions ahead are complex. We have to navigate them as a family and as a community with honesty, respect, and a shared commitment to what's best for our students and our community. We have to. Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. So we're going to have to lean in. And you will see that we've planned a lot of different engagement opportunities just for first semester so far, but we're going to continue that, okay? All right. Now, those strategic focus areas that I shared are, you can kind of view them as immediate guideposts for the year ahead. Those are guiding us, those are giving us direction for right now. It's really important, though, to make sure if every action is going to be connected, measurable, and sustainable, we need a clear 5-year strategic blueprint. And that's what we're calling True North 2030. Okay? This is a 5-year strategic plan. And the reason we say True North is that if you think about a compass and you think about when it tells you where the north is, it's going to be affected by a lot of different things. It's going to be affected by the magnetic poles, I think. I don't know all the science, but I know that it's affected by other things. It's not actually True North. There is a True North 2030 for us, and that is making sure that our vision, mission, and learner profile is driving the work that we do and that it's all coherent. So our design team will be pulled together so that we can more clearly delineate and define the actions, timelines, success metrics, and share that work and deliver the plan. So I previewed this already in June. I just wanted to make sure you knew that I've now shared this with the staff, and we're going to be moving forward with that, okay? All right, so now we have a moment. I'm going to stop because I could go on forever, but we have a little bit more. I shared a lot of gratitude for some of the work that has been done. I shared gratitude for our staff. I'd like to take some time now to recognize some others super important in our organization. And I'm going to ask the fabulous Mr. Williams to come up. No, I'm going to ask the fabulous Dr. Pendleton to come up to share a little bit about our CSUSM Innovation Lab. There you go.
Thank you, Dr. So, good evening. It is my distinct pleasure this evening and honor to really come together and recognize a group of students from our Bonsall High School that had the incredible opportunity to participate in the Cal State University San Marcos Innovation Lab and Small Business Academy for a week-long program that guided students through every step of launching a small business, from sparking an idea to developing a plan for turning it into reality. The students participated through interactive workshops, hands-on challenges, and valuable insight from actually industry partners that were there speaking to the students. And they also experienced in action this entrepreneurship process. So then following, I just wanted to share that following this experience, the high school actually staff hosted the first ever Bonsall High School Buzz Battle. And what it was is students actually pitched their business ideas to a panel of high school judges, teachers, and staff. Each of the students had a presentation reflected in their innovation, creativity, and empathy, showcasing not only their skills that they had gained through them attending this academy, but also their passion brought to their work. We are incredibly proud of the dedication, the collaboration, and originality that these students demonstrated, and we're excited to recognize that achievement here tonight. So I'm going to ask Ms. Erin to come and help me. We're going to read a couple of students. I see about more than half are here. So when I call your name, if you're sitting in the audience, if you can come up and be recognized. Juan Alvarez. Jack Buenrostro. Rodrigo Dianas. Miguel Chavirin. Vinny Mendoza. Alejandro Reséndez. Rolando Hernández. Ezequiel Camargo Correa. Esteban Cantero. Uciel Solano. Alvin Andrade Méndez. Emanuel Mansalvo. And David Sebastian.
Second day of school. Look how many of them came out tonight. We're very, very proud of them. They probably don't have a ton of homework yet, so thank you so much. Very proud. And now I'd like to call up Mr. Williams for some employee recognition.
Thank you, Dr. Golly. It does seem like that Monday was about a month ago. It's been a lot. And so just like the students coming out, I'm really thankful that some of our extended school year folks came out as well. So just to give you a little information, tonight we would like to recognize an outstanding employee team which served our students with special needs over the summer, which is commonly known as ESY, Extended School Year. This past summer, the program was an absolute success, and that is entirely due to the incredible team of educators, support staff, and specialists who made it happen. As you can see up there, school continued over the summer months, and just like we had folks in purchasing and maintenance and operations, we also had educators come out and students come out, so we had some really fantastic time together. What I'd like to do is read the names of the folks that were involved and contributed so much, and if we could do this first, once I read your name, please come up, and on both sides of the podium, if you could stand before the board, they're going to give you some certificates, and I also want to share some more information about what happened. So, Beth Percy, I saw you there. Please come on up. Erica Howe, Kevin Quinn, Liz Diaz, Michelle Selisowinski, Brianna Kinlidney, Kylie Fox, Star Green Sky, Adriana Damian, Crystal Diaz, Edith Guzman, Tanya Isaacs, Maureen Lopez, Dana Townsend, Katie Taylor, Hector Soto, Thomas Pisapia, Shannon Park, Jared Graff, Sonia Johnson, Natalia Luis Antonio, Sydney McKinney, Sarah Sevilla, Chelsea Steves, and then also Sheila Adams, if you could join them as well. Big round of applause for them. In a few words, every single one of them chose to spend part of their summer break with our students, not because they had to, but because they understood what was at stake. They knew that their time, energy, and expertise would help prevent potential academic and social skills regression, keep skills strong, and allow our students to start the new school year ready to learn, which they, in fact, have done. So we had a lot of our students ready to roll when we started 2 days ago. The summer ran seamlessly, not by accident, but because of their deep experience, exceptional skill, and most importantly, their genuine love for our students. Their dedication ensured that every child in ESY was supported, encouraged, and celebrated. They gave our students the gift of continuity, connection, and confidence, and for that, we are deeply grateful. Thank you so much. Tonight, it's my privilege to honor them for their outstanding service to our students with disabilities and to our entire school community. Thank you so much. What we'd like you to do right now is kind of walk over there, find your name and certificate, and then join right over here together. We'd like to get a picture of you. And so thank you so much. Sheila's going to help out as well. I do want to give a shout out to Sheila Adams. This was her second summer doing this, but she kind of just learned the ropes the first summer when she came on board. But with this team's contributions, it was a really dynamic summer for our students, so it's fantastic. And then Sheila, we'd like you to join Dr. Golly, please, in the photo. And then I might get in this one too, because the employee.
Again, thank you so much. We really appreciate your work, and we know that you do that. Many of you have been doing that summer after summer, so I'm glad that we took the time to recognize your efforts. You're amazing. Thank you. Okay, we have one more recognition. I'm super excited because tonight I have the privilege of recognizing a truly inspiring community partner in Divine Path. And I'd like to call up Lanilla Batali and Tom, right? Tom, remind me of your last name. Olmstead? Okay, come on up, please. Please join me. And Lanilla is the founder and executive director of this organization, and Tom is board president. That's right. Board president. Okay. Thank you, thank you. So before the start of the school year, as part of our leadership launch, our leadership team, and that's what you see there in that awesome picture, our leadership team had the opportunity to visit their beautiful campus, and we had a special lunch lovingly prepared and served by their students. From the very first moments that we walked onto that campus, we were greeted by staff and students. We experienced the heart of Divine Path. It truly is a place where purpose, compassion, and opportunity come together to change lives. And I'm not sure if you knew, but it's just right up the block here. Olive Hill Road. It's very, very close. Divine Path is a nonprofit organization that provides vocational training, life skills development, and hands-on agricultural and viticulture experiences for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And again, like I said, they're right around the corner. Their programs combine classroom instruction with practical, real-world learning in areas such as farming, horticulture, culinary arts, and hospitality. And beyond job training, they focus on building independence, fostering self-confidence, and creating a strong sense of belonging for each participant. And I sensed that the first time I heard Lanilla come speak to our Rotary Club. And when she spoke from the heart about the evolution of her journey in creating this incredible organization, I was inspired and knew that the rest of our leaders would be inspired as well. So after a delicious lunch prepared by their students, served by their students, Lanilla's daughter, Serena, gave a wonderful presentation sharing a little bit about their organization, and that was very, very informative. And I loved that as they took us on a tour of the entire facility, every program that they have developed, every room that we went into, every space that we saw students learning and growing and thriving, developing skills, confidence, and independence that will serve them honestly for a lifetime. The passion in your staff and the dedication of their students, my staff is still talking about it and still telling me how inspired they were. What struck so many of us is how closely their mission aligns with ours in Bonsall Unified School District. And that's wonderful and beautiful because we're all in this community. We're passionate about helping every student belong, believe, and achieve. And Divine Path is committed to providing meaningful opportunities for each individual. And I loved seeing the individualization. Each individual to discover their strengths, believe in their abilities, and achieve their goals. Their motto, I think that's your motto, right? Learning, growing, empowering. Their work, honestly, is a living example of those ideals in action. So we wanted you to come here tonight, and we have something to share with you. We wanted to share how grateful we are for the connection between our organizations, for the example that Divine Path sets for what it means to invest deeply in people and in community. And on behalf of the Bonsall Unified School District, it is my absolute honor to present the certificate of recognition and also this wonderful photo that I took around to all of our leaders, and they all wanted to sign with a special message for you. But we want to recognize you as an exemplary community partner. We look forward to a lot of collaborations in the future, and we're just so grateful that you took the time to teach us and to partner with us. So.
That looks like one of the cards that we do for students.
And I will say that Larissa and I attended their soiree last weekend. Unbelievable. If you have a chance to go check out their flower shop and purchase some of the things created by students, if you have a chance to go to the art studio and purchase some of the art that the students have created, I got some awesome things. It was really wonderful. What you do is very inspirational. So thank you. Thank you again. Thank you.
Appreciate the
Oh, we need a picture. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, again, wonderful community partner and awesome recognition. And now we get an opportunity, and this is something that I'm really excited about. We are extremely fortunate that tonight we get to swear in an awesome new student board member named Isla Nicknom. Isla, come on up here. Okay, so the way this works, and Isla was incredibly impressive, and we're excited to hear the reports throughout this year, and she's going to keep us in touch with things that are happening with the student body and also be a great voice for our students. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this, and then you're going to repeat after me, okay? And I'll try to just space it out. So I, Isla Nicknom, do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations
without any mental reservations
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Okay. So now what What you're going to do is go shake the hands of all of our board members. Congratulations. Wonderful, and I think we'll probably do a picture at the recess. Is that okay? Okay, because then we'll get all the board together. Isla, we're really excited. You get to take your seat there, and in just a moment, we'll do a recess and we'll be able to get some pictures of that as well. Okay, so congratulations and welcome. And the last thing that I want to share before we have a brief recess is just a save the date. We'll be sending this out. This is something that we love doing every year. This is a partnership between the Chamber of Commerce, the Bonsall Unified School District, Bonsall Rotary, and this is appreciation for our North County Fire Department, the San Diego Sheriff Department, and California Highway Patrol. What we do is we have a breakfast right over here at Bonsall Elementary School out by the track. We're starting breakfast at 8:30 a.m. and then at 9 a.m. we have a program, and in the program we will recognize, we have different enforcement agencies come, and they will recognize some of their best and brightest, and then all elementary students are invited to bring their patriotically decorated bike to ride and recognize our heroes. It's super fun, and we'd love to have a large showing. Our first responders deserve all of the appreciation and praise, and it's right near Patriot Day, so it's also a wonderful way to celebrate Patriot Day. So I wanted to make sure we get that on everybody's calendar, and we will be sending out a notice to all families as well, okay? So with that, last thing I want to do is just thank, again, I thanked everybody else, I think, except for 2 large groups. First, before I get to District Leadership Board, thank you so much. I know it's a lot of work, it never ends, and it's sometimes thankless, and we are incredibly proud and honored that you are committed and you're dedicated and you show up and you are making sure you are always thinking about what's right for our students. So we really do appreciate that. And I want to extend a huge just moment of gratitude here for our district leadership. These fine folks that you see up here, I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about Alan Williams, Laura Castro, Sheila Adams, and Dr. Veronica Pendleton. A lot of work also to make sure that we're starting smoothly, work that was extended throughout the summer, and honestly, such a hardworking group of people, and I'm really, really proud to work with them. So I'd love a round of applause for them. And with that, I think we typically do a brief recess.
I think board member reports are before the recess.
I'm going to sit down then. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And do we have a student board member report already for this month? Fantastic. Look how prepared you are for the very first meeting. Looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Good evening, everyone. I'm really excited.
Can you bring your microphone a little closer too? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm really excited to be here in front of you all today. I just wanted to talk about what has been going on at the school as it's starting these first few days. So beginning with Legion launch, which was last Thursday, where the incoming freshmen came in, and it was really great seeing the parents come in as well, along with their students, just to show their support and involvement, because it's scary, you know, going through such a big transition. And ASB also got the chance to bond together and just, you know, talk about our summers and make, you know, jokes with each other, and it was really great kind of feeling that sense of familiarity. And then as the academies are being introduced with the different pathways, I've been hearing about what the students are looking forward to seeing, like the academy competitions, and just today we did academy socials, and it was really great seeing how everyone was so excited and they wanted their t-shirt and the water bottle and all the merch, and they just had, it was such a great thing to also learn more about the other students in the academy and learn why they're interested, you know, what they're looking to do with this pathway. So that was really nice. And then there's so many great opportunities this year with early college expanding with more certificates and the academies as well. And then, yeah, so looking forward to starting this new year strong. It's already going really well, just seeing how hard the staff is working. Even before school started, you know, they needed a lot of help with setting up classrooms and integrating new technologies. And yeah, so thank you very much and looking forward to starting this new year.
I don't know why, I was expecting some kind of introduction, but,
Mr. Ortega.
well, welcome to the board. Looking forward to seeing some great information from you. I wanted to say congratulations to our students that completed the programs over the summer. Congratulations to you all. It was a great job to go beyond what school entitles and doing more than what's expected of you, and I really appreciate that, showing that you do that much for everybody and yourselves. It looks really good. But I also wanted to talk about communication. Last year, it came up that Vivian Banks was having some issues and stuff, and I went to a charter council meeting, and I was put under the gun, like, what's going on here? Why are we going to fix this? And pretty much at that point, I didn't know anything about any problems that we were having there at the school. And then after that point, it came, you know, people were talking about, you know, we're going to close the school down, not because the district didn't want it, but because it was falling apart, it was falling down. And I don't think anybody really understood the spirit and the pride that's in not just our community out there in Paula, but our district across the board. And when the church was informed about a lot of the issues and stuff, they immediately stepped up. They provided alternative classrooms for the students. Like, the issue came up on Friday, and they provided alternative classrooms on Monday. So fast that even the school itself wasn't ready to be moved, but they were already provided. And also talked about repairs and stuff that were going to be done. Then, not only that, but the parish came through and said that they would actually affect not just repairs, but upgrades. And the other thing they also offered was that the teachers and the staff would be included in that communication about the upgrades. Pretty much everything you could possibly ask for happened. It was just incredible. And after, well, we had opening day on Wednesday, first day of school, and in one of the pictures, you could see us standing there getting our pictures taken. In the background, you could see the bin that was still there. Repairs were actually completed like the day before the first day of school. And there was people that are saying that it would never be done. So a lot of people underestimated what the district is willing to provide and what the parish and the community in Paula were able to provide. And I think that's something that spirit we have to carry across our district with new challenges that we're facing. I know it was spoken about facilities changes coming up. And at one point, our board listened to everybody in the community. We had meetings, and at one point, we made a decision that we're going to go with a certain facility management system, you know, that was going to be offered. Now the work begins, because in my opinion, the way I like to do things is I hear everybody's, you know, arguments, or hear everybody's complaints, and then being the board, being the quote unquote people in charge, we make the decision that we're going to do this, but you know, we're not like going to be like, this is our way or the highway. It's going to be, we're making this decision. Now we need everybody's input so that the decision is done properly. I like to put it like, I'll make a decision, and then I let everybody correct, or rather complete, the idea. And I think that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make a decision on what we think that the facilities needs to be looking like in a few years. And now we need everybody's input, not just the staff and the students and the community, but also the community. Everybody to be involved with these decisions that are coming up, because we got some big ones coming up. We got some big decisions. We provide the direction, and everybody else is going to step in and basically fill in all the gaps that we have provided for everybody. So I want everybody to know that's my opinion on all this. Even though, like I say, a certain decision's been made about the direction of the new facilities, it's not like this is the way we're going to do it and there's no changes. We expect a lot of input to make sure this is done for everybody's benefit and the students as well. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to bring up. Also, congratulations to everybody else that helps out. And, you know, again, I'd like to give a big thank you to the parish at Vivian Banks Charter School for stepping up and pretty much taking everything. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Castro, but did any of those upgrades cost the district a lot of money for all that stuff that was done out there? And that was some incredible work. I see on the agenda here, we have some repairs that are coming up that are costing us probably close to $750,000, you know, going on with everything that's on the agenda today. And we're gonna, well, I don't know if we're gonna approve everything, but I'm thinking that a lot of stuff needs to get done and we're gonna get it done. But when you look at the repairs that were done out there at Vivian Banks and not just the quality of the repairs and the time that it took, and the cost to the district is just, you know, incredible. You know, so anyway, I wanted to be a big thank you to the parish for stepping up and taking care of all that for us. And that's all I have right now.
Thank you, Mr. Ortega. Mr. LaPoree.
Welcome to the board. Motivation fades, disciplines remain. So technically speaking, it's very easy to get super excited. It's the first few days of school and things like that. And you know, you are empowered and it's like the first day of those New Year resolution. And we just need to sustain this motivation, sustain this energy, sustain this push forward. And well, in the presentation of Dr. Gully, I appreciate the fact that we highlight the challenges that we're facing. I've been complaining that in those meetings often we celebrate the good and we kind of wipe, you know, we kind of sweep the bad stuff under the carpet and we ignore it for the moment, for the time that this meeting happens. I think we need to look at everything in a honest and unbiased way, so that way we understand the challenge we're facing. Regarding the issue at the Pala building, it's when things were falling apart and things were so dire that there was a sense of awareness and a sense of energy. If the problem is escalated earlier, if there's some identification of the problems and maybe we're not in this sense of the urgency and this sense of catastrophic response, but we can engage the parish before and earlier and have something that's more established and process that's not as critical. So, you know, is the see something, say something type of things, and it's across the board. You know, if you see something in the school that's problematic, bring it up. Don't wait for the problem to fester to a level that requires an emergency situation and an emergency response. I think with the decision that were made for the future of the district, there were materials. I don't know if they're available online or things like that, like the dashboard that presented the different options, how people commented on it. You know, they were presented on in vivo right here. We can take videos, we can take pictures and post them online so people can see them. We didn't make a decision in a vacuum. There was a lot of input by a lot of people from different backgrounds. And no matter the decision that we could have taken, not everyone's gonna be happy about it. And we don't wear the hat of our family in the Bonsall School District, we are wearing the hat of community representative. We make decisions that benefit everybody, or as much as possible, today, tomorrow, next year. It's very easy, and especially in today's society, to be really self-centered and selfish and think, what's in it for me? What does that bring to me? And sometimes you need to take this individual hat and put it down and look in a broader way and try to appreciate what that means for the greater good. And sometimes it means you need to sacrifice a little bit for the greater good. And you know, the same way we all sacrifice for the greater good by just sitting here. We just want to try to improve the overall ecosystem where our kids can thrive and grow and learn things that's going to propel them for their own life. And it's not my kids, it's all the kids. And I think this is really the type of blinders that we need to remove, so that when people look as a part of the community versus their own self within the community. And unless we were able to create that momentum, we still have people who are reluctant to change, because first, change is scary, but also because, yes, some people as individuals, as families, might be more impacted than some others, and there's a sense that maybe the treatment is not fair, but it's the magnifier that you need to look the situation under. It's really the magnifier of the Bonsall community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Murchat.
First, I'd like to thank Ms. Brown, Caroline Brown, for putting together some great site tours and all the representatives from the school district that went. And I think the one thing that you think is, we build thousands of schools. You'd think we'd have it. This is what you do. But after going on a number of sites, you see, we'll call it mistakes or things that they would like to change. And so I think it's, we saw a number of issues where it cost the districts millions of dollars because of changes. They decided, well, we're 2/3 of the way done and this is not what we want. So I think we have to be vigilant from the standpoint of thinking, yes, the architect has a lot of experience, but we really need to walk ourselves through the classrooms, through the facilities, and the materials that are being used. It's amazing how you're going, how could this mistake be made? Or how so whenever we're going to try something or do something, we want to make sure that we go see it somewhere else and not reinvent the wheel. It's been done. And let's find out, oh, that doesn't work, or that works great. But because we're not going to have unlimited amount of money, so we need to make all our money go. Second is, I think it's just all the work that's put in. You can see all the work that goes in just to getting day one to go. And so I want to thank all our employees for getting it done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Murchat. Is Mr. Gaddis going to give a report through a microphone on the computer?
Would you like to report, Mr. Gaddis? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, I'd just like to say, first of all, I appreciated Dr. Golly's Plato reference. I always like her quote, so I'd like to start with that. The second thing I'd like to say is, you know, I had this whole speech I was going to give about how last year we had such an incredible year, I thought. We made improvements in scores. We just had great student achievement. But then Dr. Golly stole my thunder and talked about how we can't just basically stick to that. We have to always keep moving forward, always trying to keep improving. And so I think last year is a very good springboard for us to continue our growth forward. So I thought I liked her report on that, and I just wanted to thank her for that. And the last thing I just wanted to say is I apologize to everybody about my inability to go to be in attendance in person, but I got kind of the carpet pulled out from underneath me by a transport company who was supposed to send my kids' stuff out to the East Coast, and now I have to drive. So I apologize for that, but I hope we have a great school year, and that's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Gaddis, and thank you for logging in all the way from the other side of the country. Appreciate that. And I'd like to say good evening to our Bonsall Unified School District family. We had an amazing week so far, and it's not even over yet. And as everyone has already shared, it feels like Monday was a very long time ago. And I was honored and blessed to be able to provide an address to our staff and teachers. And I thought I would share that with our broader community, especially everybody online, as well as my fellow board members. And it goes a little bit like this. For the past 3 years, we've been walking a shared path guided by the theme, belong, believe, achieve. This isn't just a slogan, it's a commitment, a developmental arc for our students, staff, and community. Year by year, we lay the foundation, nurture the growth, and now we focus on the bloom. Here along the San Luis Rey River, we can feel the rhythm of the land. We know what it means to plant, to tend, to wait, and to trust the process with patience and persistence. Each crop has its own seasons, just as every person does. We start with the seed, belong. We know that learning requires healthy space to take root. So we focus on connection, cultivating classrooms and campuses where every child and adult feels seen and nourished. We tend the soil of relationships because we know in Bonsall, our community comes first. Belonging is the deep taproot that allows us to weather wind, drought, or storm. Last year with Dr. Ghali as our superintendent, we nurtured that seed into a strong young sapling, believe. With spreading roots, we reach upward. We encourage belief, not just in academic potential, but in personal purpose. We build confidence, curiosity, and character. We tell every student that they are capable and anything is possible. We remind every educator that you are making a difference and your work matters. Believing becomes the light our lifetime learners lean toward to grow, even when a season feels long. And now it's time to bloom. This year's word is achieve. Let's be clear, achievement in BUSD isn't just about test scores, it's about flourishing. We're here to help grow whole humans, not just scholars. That's why we proudly champion A's all around in agriculture, arts, and athletics, as well as academics. We believe learning happens in the garden and in the studio, on the stage and on the field, in the lab and classrooms, from Paula to Pendleton and on the Palomar campus. Achievement goes beyond any single harvest. In agriculture, crops like lettuce sprout quickly. Some flower fields burst with color in months. Others, like avocados, take years before bearing fruit. A sunflower races toward the sky in one summer, while grapevines may take seasons to yield their richest vintage. In BUSD, achievement is as diverse as our learners and educators and celebrated in its many varieties. Achievement is a student who finds their voice through watercolor or welding. Achievement is a teacher finding a new way to reach a child who almost gave up. Achievement is the Bonsall School's farm bursting with tomatoes planted by tiny hands. Achievement is our custodial crew making spaces shine. Achievement is a first-gen graduate walking across the BHS stage with tears in their family's eyes. Achievement is a coach who helps their athletes grow in discipline and character while training to win. Achievement is the staff member who notices when someone needs a little extra care and quietly makes it better. Achievement is STEM ideas taking root and growing into competitions, innovations, and scholarships. Achievement means showing up early to plan, to counsel, to rehearse, to revise, because something inside says we can do this. Achievement isn't an end, it's a perpetual bloom. It's what happens when BUSD supports all staff and students with a place to belong, the confidence to believe, and the tools to turn potential into action. As your board president, I believe every person in BUSD deserves the chance to achieve and to bloom every single year. Achievement is not a single harvest. It's a living cycle renewed in each season for every learner, every educator, and every member of our Bonsall family. So this year, let's hold high expectations while keeping our hearts open. Improved test scores, newer buildings, more student family retention from TK through graduation, and higher school rankings happen organically when we all continue to nurture our roots, tend each other's growth, and celebrate every kind of achievement. Together, let's believe we can achieve a bountiful new Bonsall Unified School District 2025-26 school year. And before we break for intermission, I'd like to call Mr. Williams and Ms. Pendleton back up to the podium to make a little bit of an additional update.
Yes, I just want to recognize a student who we didn't call up when we were reading the names. His name is Saul Lobatos. We'd like to recognize him as part of being that academy that attended Cal State San Marcos.
Was he in the picture before? Normally, we have a quick intermission. It's 7:22. We have quite a few items on the agenda. Just by a show of hands, is there anybody who really wants that intermission, or can we just kind of plow through the agenda? Okay, it's 7:22. We can resume back at 7:27.
It still works when I press on it. And it worked.
All right, everybody, it is 7:33, so a little bit beyond our originally anticipated 7:27 re-entry into this board meeting. We are now on agenda item number 8, the consent agenda, a little bit longer because of a lot of annual pieces of business. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Bringing us to our, I believe it's our information items. And we have the first reading of the Facilities Enhancement and Funding Agreement for the Ocean Breeze Ranch Project. Caroline, are you going to talk about this a little bit, or is you going to be talking about the next item too? Or so, sounds great. Come on up. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. The Facilities Enhancement and Funding Agreement is a mechanism for the developer to contribute a little bit more to the district for their facilities program to better mitigate the costs of new students coming in from a development. So we're super excited about having something like this where we're getting the developer fees plus a little bit of an enhancement for doing some of the upgrades. So that's what that is. This is a first reading, and it will be back on the agenda next month for a consideration of adoption.
Thank you. And that brings us then to our information item number 2, which is a presentation. I know a lot of people are very excited about this, the facilities plan update.
Yeah, thank you. The copy that you're getting now is a partial copy of the presentation. It excludes all the photographs from the tours that we did. So at some point, we're going to flip to tours, and then we'll flip back to what you have in your hand in front of you. So what we're going to talk about today is the activities that have occurred in the district since January of 25. We're going to talk about the forecasted grade level of the number of students we're going to need to accommodate by 2029-30 for the new developments that are coming in. We're going to talk about the Bonsall Advisory Committee, the BAC, what they've done, and then how they came and arrived to the proposed plan. We're going to talk about the tours that we did over the summer and some of our findings. Some of the construction type exploration that we're doing and the different types of opportunities that are available to us. We're going to talk again about the continued community engagement that's going to be occurring in from August through December and then beyond. We have dates set through November. And then so far we've had some survey results of the survey that Dr. Gawley put out. We've got 70 or so responses. I've got a little bit of a summary of what we're hearing from people, sort of the tenor out there. And then we're going to emphasize the variety of communication strategies we're going to use, and then we'll have closing and discussion. So we've got quite a bit to cover here. So the activities since January of 25, we've had the focus groups and surveys that were held by the superintendent, student advisory groups, as well as some surveys that went out in January and then again this month. We've had feedback solicited on all the topics around facilities planning. So that's enrollment projections, educational goals, programs, student experience, grade level groupings and configurations, condition and challenges and opportunities, a little bit of school boundary conversation around balancing the elementary schools enrollments, some prioritization of what we want to do first, second, and third. Is there some branding opportunities that we could have where each school would have an identity? And then I've got school configurations as well. So this is the Bonsall Community Advisory Group. We said in January we're going to pull together a group of 25 to 30 or 18 to 25. We pulled together 35 to 42 people that talked about all of the things Bonsall. So all the goals in the district, the facts, the needs, and the solutions around facilities, program development, school configurations, and then they ultimately landed on the consensus of a plan that we should further evaluate in this year in order to prioritize implementation plans over the next year or two. And then board workshops, we held additional board meetings on top of the regularly scheduled monthly meetings. There were 3 board workshops where we dove into the same topics. And then over the summer, we did a number of school site tours of construction in various locations in Southern California. So when we get to 2029-30, we're going to need to accommodate quite a few students. This is forecasted for TK6 at 1,700, or TK5 at 1,480, TK8 at 2,148, or we can break it down by all those other grade level configurations, 6-8, 7-8, and 9-12. So we do have an increase of enrollment coming that we need to prepare for. So these are the final workshop of the Bonsall Advisory Committee was held, and this is where we came up with the solutions. So the architect helped us with what assets do you have, how much space do you have, and how much space does something take? So you see on the Old River Road site that there's a track there, and that's the track of a standard high school program. And then you see on West Lilac, there's a track, and it's superimposed over the upper area that's asphalt and the lower area that's the lower grass. So in order to accommodate a high school field with a track, you would need to move some dirt there to make that happen. And so then at El Merlo, there wouldn't be any opportunity to put a high school size track there because the program is so, the acreage is so small. So what they came up with was the Old River Road site could accommodate 7 to 12. And so the colors on that diagram of the Old River Road site kind of talk about the big picture items of a gym and a locker room and some other things that would be associated with a 712. And then the TK6 at El Merlo would be accommodating a little bit more enrollment if we do the boundary adjustments for elementary school attendance. And then at the Lilac Road site, there would be a potential to hold the TK6 there. So what we want to do is further investigate the feasibility of doing that. What do we need to do for sure right away make it happen? What are our level 2 priorities and what are our level 3 priorities? And then we jumped into, okay, what kind of buildings are out there? What kind of construction's out there, and what are people building, and what are they learning about their building program? So we went down to Chula Vista. They have a number of sites. They have 50 elementary schools, actually, and they are the largest elementary school in California, school district in California. They did a 2-story classroom modular building, and it's a 2019 installation. It's a modular, brought in on a truck, has an elevator, and sort of is sort of set aside on the corner of a site. Could be a cost-effective way of doing things because it's faster, but it's something that we really want to look at as far as the feature set that's in a building like that. The lower left hand is the MPR, which is a stick-built permanent structure with lots of glazing in the back for us to expand the audience level. We went over to Logan in San Diego Unified. It's a TK12 campus. It's got a student entrance at the front that is where all the kids come through, and then they go left, all the way to the left to do the TKK6 experience, and then they have 7-8 in the middle, and then they have 9-12 on the right side. And then the lower left is a masonry gymnasium, and then they have field space. They've got a 9-lane track field there on that property, and learning commons in the high school in the lower right. So then we wanted to look at what a modular gym might look like, and this is a middle school in Lakeside Elementary, and they did this a couple years back, and it was done as a modular where you buy boxes and put them together to come up with a size gym. This is actually a middle school size gym, and they have a weight room tagged onto it and some other facilities adjoining it. So it was good to see that method of construction as well. And then this is a stick-built in Fontana, steel, two-story, new building, and this is the one I believe Mr. Merchat was referring to, where they started out to be a 912, and then halfway through the construction, they decided they needed to make it a 712 for reasons around the district about demographics, planning, where the kids are, where are they coming from, and where in proximity is the middle school currently, and so they decided that they needed to put a middle school with this 912 campus. That is the thing that's costing them a lot, because they went down the path of doing a 912 and then changed to a 712. Went to another modular building out in Fontana. We had a really fun road trip, didn't we? Two-story modular building, and it introduced us to some color splashes you can do, some ceiling height changes you can do in the modular. It's just like Chula Vista, but with a little bit more adornment. It looks very welcoming, and we thought it was a good example. Upper right is a stick-built part of that we just tripped over visiting, because they were doing modernization in that building, so we were able to see how they were modernizing their older buildings as well. And then we went to Banning. Banning has a preschool TK single-story modular solution at Florida Street, and they just did that, just finished it. This last year was the first operating year, and they're really pleased with the modular solution that they chose. And then Beaumont High School, two-story modular, two-story modular. They did a little bit of extra on it where they have the interior in the lower right corner where it has a scene on it of the mountains in the area. It's a wrap, and it just kind of brings the outside in, and it makes it a nice space. It's because there's no windows to the outside in that. The windows there are going into classrooms. And so they did a little bit of extra things to make the modular look nice. And then this one is a concrete tilt-up that is in Escondido, and it was another method of construction. So we wanted to see, how that looks and feels and sounds when you're inside. And we have a Mission Middle School two-story modular. This is also in Escondido, just finishing. They had some lessons learned on a prior two-story module and then went to a different manufacturer and made some modifications. There's some opportunities to leave the ceiling open or close it, put T-grid in or not. So we've got some choices to make as we go into our planning. And then we are going to do another road trip. Hopefully we can get some dates in September. Newport Mesa, they're converting all their 912s to 712 campuses. So we want to see them, talk to the principal, talk to the superintendent there, and see how they're configuring their campuses to accommodate that change in their program. Fullerton School District has a cube gymnasium, which is another modular gymnasium we can look at, and it's a kit of parts that is shipped to the site and constructed on site, and they're expecting that to be finished this month, so that'll be fun to see how that is working. And then we'll go down and see Mariana Vincent and Lemon Grove to look at the Early Childhood Education Center. They did a 16 classroom special ed TK modular classroom with a permanent admin and MPR kitchen, so we'll see how that went together. And then we'll head out to Spencer Valley to look at a TK Cube classroom solution that they just did about 3 years ago and see how they're doing. So there's modular, there's portable schools that we can do, there's modular schools in single and two-story, and then there's permanent, so we can do steel or wood or concrete tilt-up or masonry. All of them come with a different price tag, and we can do hybrid or not, or just need to be aware of these construction types that are out there, and then we can cost estimate them and see what we can actually do with the funding that we have here. So then, yeah.
Not only price tag, but also time to completion, right?
Yes, yes. So the portable buildings and the modular buildings and the cube are all DSA pre-approved. So you cut out about 8 months in DSA for getting your plans. So if you do a stick-built building, You're looking at 6 months to a year to draw it, engineer it, and get construction documents. And then you're looking at 8 months, a year or more in DSA. Then you go to bid and then you build it. So your run time up to a modular or a cube or a portable is way less because the actual structure is already DSA approved. The only thing DSA has to do is look at the ADA access and the site conditions and that. So yeah, that's a good point.
Thank you.
So I'm going to shift off of school tours and we're going to go into our community engagement. We're going to continue the site tours. We're going to further explore estimates, current estimates, types of construction, what are people getting, reconvene the back, and we're going to take the back in all together in August, and then we're going to break off into small focus groups, and those small focus groups are going to have assignments, and they're going to then work together 3 or 4 times between September and October to then report back to the back, that's getting hard, back to the back in November to then report back to you about sort of the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 of any implementation around these puzzles that we need to figure out. And then in the meantime, and I think you have this on your agenda later, is to authorize district staff to do an RFP for architectural services to get ready for whenever we're ready to have a project identified and have an architect brought on board. So we just wanted to get that little box checked before we do that. And then as part of that, we'll want to develop a master plan for each site so that we know where things are going to go, when they're going to go, and how the phasing is going to go. And then we have the big decision as to whether we would go for a bond in November of 26 or November of 28. And we would need to make that decision in the first quarter of 26 or the first quarter of 28 or both at that time. So. And then the methods of communication, we're going to pull out all the stops on getting people engaged and informed with the facts on the program. So we did the staff meeting and we're going to go back to the staff 2 more times this year. We have staff, Dr. Golly has staff meetings at each site now, and will, I'm sure, continue those through the year. And then we've got parent and community forums that are on the calendar. We've got community survey. We'll continue doing community surveys and try to get them out to a broader audience. Board meetings, study sessions, we'll get those on the calendar. The community groups, the PTA leadership, Rotary, anything like that. We want to keep engaged with the Village News and other media outlets, and the By Golly staff newsletter and the Bonsall Bridge, and then district and site meetings as we go along through the year. So input received. Okay, this is actually back in your packet again. It might look a little different, but basically the summary of the input that we've received is, of course, polarized. So you've got strongly agree, somewhat agree for these reasons. You've got neutral, I don't have an opinion, but you guys better figure it out. And then disagree, strongly disagree for these other reasons. So this is just a quick summary. This was the first 40 or so receipts that surveys that we received. And so we'll be further disaggregating this and coming back to you with a more in-depth response. And then these are the dates if you want to take a picture of that, or we'll communicate, or you can get it on the facilities page. These dates are set, or I don't know, the principal dates are being confirmed, right?
They're probably correct, and that should say site staff meetings. Sorry about that. It's up top, site staff meetings and listening sessions.
Okay.
Are those during the day or in the evenings?
Those will be after school. So the ones that are
So the intention is for the ones that are scheduled September 3rd through September 16th will be an after-school optional site staff meeting and listening session. The all-staff meetings that are currently scheduled on October 31st and January 12th are our full-day PDs, and so we're carving out some time for some intentional sharing of information and then also feedback.
The parent and community forums, the first one is scheduled for the 23rd. The other two dates, they're on the calendar, we just need to confirm location because we are doing the first one here in the Bonsall Community Center, but then thought we might want to look at alternate locations to ensure that people have an opportunity to come. And then, of course, the advisory committee meetings on the 26th and November 4th, and then sandwiched in between that, focus groups meeting 3 to 4 times in between those meetings.
And then in closing, the information and all the presentations that we're doing here are all on here, so you can step through, people could step through, what we've been doing and what the discussions have been and what the data is that we've presented that would drive us into making a decision like this. And I think that's all I have, so open for discussion.
Is that slide right there, is that on our website?
It's on the website, it's under the Business Services Facilities Planning.
Yes, and since when we looked for it, it's kind of difficult to find. So what we're doing is we're working with our website provider to create just right on the front page, a blue button where we have the larger buttons, and it'll say Facilities Planning 2025, 2026. And if you click there, we are taking the QR code that people can use and also a link to the survey that'll be at the top. The one pager of information that we've distributed already is also linked on that same page. And what you'll see is that what we've provided from January through June, and we will continue to add to this, every single slide deck that contains all of the information that our advisory committee and our board has been grappling with, all of it, and superintendent reports, et cetera, are accessible on that page, so you can take a real deep dive into that if you want to.
So that concludes.
So I'm not sure I saw anything about alternative sources of funding. Are we going to be discussing and exploring potential bridge funding beyond bond?
Yes, as always, we look at the facilities funds in Fund 21, Fund 35, Fund 25, and Fund 40. There's developer fees in there, and we have some developer fees that are going to be coming based on these timelines that the developers have. And then there's state funding, and once we can identify a project that qualifies for state funding, we could fund it and then get a reimbursement in, so then in 3 years we can get reimbursed, or 4 years we can get reimbursed from that fund. So we can start that cash flow exercise. And then I think we talked about doing a loan, but realized that it would be a payment that we would need to make from the general fund. And then but if something comes up, we'll look at grants, we'll look at all kinds of alternative funding sources.
And I think we had discussed and would probably be bringing to the board the scheduling a board study session, ideally, that reviews different options for funding and cash flow, et cetera.
And I appreciate that as it relates to bringing in the parents and the wider community, that we're not locked into just using this room. I think it'd be really great to spread that out across the district.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay. Any other questions?
There might be an opportunity to ask the school district that are moving to 712 for why they're doing it. And I think, in the survey result, it shows the polarization, and the people say, oh, I'm totally against the 712. I don't know that people know what a 712 is. They just have an opinion based on nothing or very few information. So it would be good to have some external feedback that doesn't come from the people that try to preach to the choir. Just so that way it seems, like it's an unbiased statement by someone that doesn't have anything to do with the district and that doesn't have an agenda of what we do. So that way it might help. So.
I think it would be helpful. I know I'm interested, especially, it wasn't City Heights. Where were we with the 7 to 12 campus?
Fontana?
No, down south. Logan Heights.
Logan.
Logan Heights, right. So I know, for example, we looked into some property values after, that new campus was built and whatnot. And I'm curious, as well as, Pascal brought up, if there's any sort of, just maybe dig on their websites a little bit, theirs and as well as Laguna, or I'm sorry, Newport, anybody who's doing the 7 to 12, if there's anything that's been published online in their, district websites that kind of talks about some of the, we talk about not reinventing the wheel as it relates to construction. We should also, at least if there's additional information as it relates to some of the thought processes by which these other districts have moved towards that model, we can kind of use that in some of our study sessions as well as people want to discuss that specific piece of it.
Yep, thank you.
Any other questions, comments from the board?
Actually, I have one, and that's totally out of left field, but there are a lot of companies that are trying to promote 3D printing buildings. And I almost wonder if there's a way to at least engage to see if those companies wanting to promote or, use the district as promotional material for them to actually say, hey, look, we've built a school building in that school district, so it's feasible, it works, and stuff like that. And because we would offer our district as a showcase for their production, then we might get that on the really cheap. So I was just wondering if it's something that exists or something to explore.
One issue is when it would be a new construction.
And then the timeline becomes
Then
crazy.
DSA is gonna go crazy because it's a new construction. Yes, they struggle with stuff that's been done, so if you do something that hasn't been done, you may never get this approved.
But you might be able to do a prototype STEM lab or something. I mean, what a great thing to do.
Yes.
you know?
Or a gym,
Yeah.
because those are expensive.
I was just thinking 3D printing and STEM connection. and-
But also time and money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to give us something and it takes a little bit longer, it might still be worth it.
But we were talking about funding. If we can find people wanting to showcase their product and that have gone through a process or something like that, that might be something to at least inquire about.
And maybe there's, Ms. Erin, you're in the room, I don't know, maybe some fun writing assignment to write to all the bazillionaires of our world and ask if they want to potentially make buildings, as a school writing project or something fun. Just an idea. So,
Nike.
We can have a Qualcomm gym or whatever, it's no issue with that. Or a Viasat building or whatever deep pocket company in the district.
anyway, fantastic. Thanks for moving us along and looking forward to seeing how it all evolves.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And this takes us to our action items. Ready, set, action. All right, action item 10.1, approval to purchase Canvas credentials for Bonsall High School. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Is this a program we've had in the past, or is it a new program?
Sorry. We've had Canvas in the past. From what I understand, this is to allow for some micro badging and some other incentives. It's an add-on to Canvas that we currently have.
Okay.
I think I heard a first and a second. Did we get it for the minutes? And then all in favor?
Aye.
He offered the second too, so thank you. Action item 10.2, purchase Write Score, Write spelled W-R-I-T-E, for Sullivan Middle School and Bonsall High School.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Action carries unanimously, bringing us to the agreement with the San Diego County Office of Education for Artificial Intelligence Professional Learning for the 2025-26 school year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Action carries unanimously, bringing us to action item 10.4, 2 independent contractor agreements with Connect for Kids Psychological Services, Inc.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Again,
All in
I
favor?
have like a
Oh,
quick
sorry.
question. This is actually a total of $10,000?
Yes.
Okay.
It's for both neurological assessment as well as full psychoeducational assessment, so 2 different kinds.
But this is for one student?
I think this is for,
Two
Two different-
students? Okay. All right. Vote.
first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Bringing us to action item 10.5, the master contract between Bonsall Unified School District and Youth Care of Utah LLC for the 25-26 school year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Action carries unanimously, bringing us to action item 10.6, the updated BUSD wellness policy.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Action carries unanimously, bringing us to action item 10.7, the 2025-26 consolidated application, the CONAPP for funding for Title 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, bringing us to action item 10.8, the proposal for MCOR Services, Mesa Energy, and Bonsall Unified School District to complete the AB 841 CalShape Assessment and Maintenance Pathway Professional Services.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I looked at this and it looks like they're only doing assessment though, not really maintenance. Okay. All right, vote.
And this is coming from the grant that we received earlier.
Yeah.
And we had a motion and a second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, bringing us to action item 10.9, authorizing the district staff to solicit from the district's pre-approved pool of qualified architectural firms a request for proposal for design services for the modernization and/or new construction at various school sites.
Little more, when we do this, I know that we're in the process really to get an idea of what this all costs. Or it's just a general idea if we're gonna make the changes to Bonsall Elementary being the high school or 7 through 12. So that's what we're looking to do. So it's just a minimal amount of work that gets us to that point, right? Is that what we're?
Yeah, nothing's gonna be authorized by this, we're just gonna get proposals for architectural services when we have something identified. Estimating, we're gonna try to do with Harrison Hall, Doubtful Rating, and all those construction people.
Okay.
They give us, we give them a rough magnitude of what our project is, we can have them cost it, and then we can engage with the architect team to design it, and we'll keep the cost estimated going as we go through design.
So, well, it seems like we should, if we can get some cost estimates, because I think that's one of the things that we're, the idea is you might have a bond in 2026 or 2028, but we may have limited monies because we haven't come really close to passing a bond lately. So we might have to look at this, look from a cost standpoint, whatever that cost is, and say, okay, is this something, a road that we can go down? What can we do with the money that we can get from the fees, things that you've negotiated, and all these grants and other things. So we may have limited money, so I think we should get some cost information and then kind of look at it again. Right?
Yeah, I'm just thinking that we can have ideas of putting projects together and then run it by the builders without incurring any costs.
Right. No, that's what we're looking for. And then at that point,
Part of that,
okay.
procuring an architect would mean, okay, we want to build a 2-story structure at X. We think it's going to cost this much to
So I guess I want to make sure that we're not spending a bunch of money on design for stuff that we really need to get some general cost information of what a conversion would look like.
So I think what we want to do is make sure that you guys are okay with us going to get a proposal once we have a board-approved project.
Okay,
So maybe it's a little bit cart before the horse, but I didn't want to get stuck on trying to get approval to go out for RFP if, it's all of a sudden it's a hurry.
okay. All right, you've got it in your back pocket when we say, yeah, go. All right, motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, bringing us to action item 10. This is a ratification of a public works contract with Brian Cox Mechanical for the installation of 2 RTU units and rooftop ducting replacement and at Sullivan Middle School MPR.
Motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, bringing us to action item 10.11. This is a ratification of contract with Infinity Communication and Consulting, Inc. for district e-waste services.
I got a question on that. What is e-waste?
Computers, electronics, all the obsolete stuff that you need to dispose of. That's what e-waste are.
Okay. And I just learned that even though the online version says e-waste, the printed out agenda, if I were using the printed one, would say e-rate, R-A-T-E services.
Okay, I saw that too in the printed out part, that it didn't have e-waste in there, that they don't deal with e-waste at all. So I was wondering what e-waste was.
E-rate,
E-rate.
sorry. And with that, is there a motion to approve the e-rate services?
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, bringing us to action item 10.12, the agreement with Fagan, Friedman, and Full Frost, F3 LLP to provide legal services.
Motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. And lucky number 13, our last action item for this evening, the adjustment to the confidential salary schedule.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, bringing us to the public comment portion of our meeting. Is there anybody here to speak on any items that have not yet been spoken on? There is not. In which case, we are now looking at our future meetings beyond all the dates that have already been presented as it relates to our facilities planning. Our next regularly scheduled meeting of the Governing Board of Trustees is scheduled for Thursday, September 11th, closed session at 4:30, open session here at 6 p.m. And with that, we shall adjourn at 8:11. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Michael. 11:11. 11:11 on the East Coast. Thank you.
Until you start reading about those stuff, you don't realize how much things going on and how much stuff you have to deal with. Healthcare, special ed services, real estate, whatever. It's like,